Good evening. This is 7 o'clock news bulletin live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, Her Excellency the Minister of Higher Education participates in the works of the first summit of Islamic Cooperation Organization in Science and Technology in Kazakhstan. The Sultanate's embassy in Washington calls upon the Omani students in Florida to take all necessary precautions as Irma storm approaches. And the U.S. President and the Emir of Kuwait mediate to end the fostering diplomatic crisis involving Qatar and its Arab neighbors. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Emomali Rahmanov of Tajikistan on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cabal to His Excellency President Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army on the 69th founding anniversary of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, Her Excellency Dr. Rawiya bin Saud Al Busaidia, Minister of Higher Education, left the country today to participate in the works of the first summit of the Islamic Cooperation Organization in Science and Technology to be held in Astana in Kazakhstan from 9th until 11th September. Her Excellency the Minister of Higher Education stated upon her departure that the Sultanate participation in this event comes due to the great attention given by His Majesty in highlighting the Sultanate's role as an active partner in the field of science, technology and innovation development in the Islamic world. She also added it will enhance cooperation aspects as well as exchanging points of views in fields related to scientific research, technology, innovation and entrepreneurship. Her Excellency will be she is accompanied by His Highness Sayyid Taimur bin Asad bin Tariq Al Said, Assistant Secretary General for Communications and Research Council, His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Saud Al Bimani, Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University, and representatives from the Minister of Higher Education, Foreign Affairs, Commerce and Industry, as well as the Supreme Council for Planning. The Sultan's embassy in the United States capital, Washington, called upon the Omani students studying in Florida to take all necessary precautions and move to a safer place, especially in the coastal areas which will be within the range of Irma storm, now a Category 4. Cuba evacuated tourists from beachside resort and Floridians emptied stores of plywood and bottled water after Hurricane Irma left at least 16 people dead and thousands homeless on a devastated string of Caribbean islands and spun towards Florida for what could be a catastrophic blow this weekend. Warship and planes were dispatched with food, water and troops after Irma smashed homes, schools and roads, laying waste to some of the world's most beautiful and exclusive tourist destinations on the islands of St. Thomas. Power lines and towers were toppled, leaves were stripped of plants and trees. A water and sewage treatment plant was heavily damaged and the harbor was in ruins, along with hundreds of homes and dozens of businesses. Irma weakened from Category 5 storm to Category 4 this morning with maximum sustained winds near 240 kilometers per hour, but it remained a powerful hurricane. More than 500,000 people in Miami-Dade country were ordered to leave as Irma closed in within winds of 280 kilometers per hour. President Donald Trump hailed efforts by the leader of Kuwait to mediate and fostering diplomatic crisis involving Qatar and its Arab neighbors that could have implications for the U.S. military presence in the region. At a White House news conference with His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Trump said He appreciated the emirs thus far the work to end the dispute between Qatar and Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt. Trump said all the countries involved, members of the Gulf Cooperation Council, are essential partners with the United States in efforts to crack down on extremism. For his part, Sheikh Sabah said he remained hopeful that a resolution to the crisis could be reached. He noted that Qatar had been presented with a list of 13 demands by the other countries and was willing to discuss them. Although Qatar has rejected some of them out of hand, Sheikh Sabah said he believed negotiations were possible. Kuwait hosts some 13,500 American troops, many at Camp Arfijan, south of Kuwait City, which also is home to the forward command of U.S. Army Central. Meanwhile, the Quartet of Arab nations, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt, now boycotting Doha, issued a strongly worded statement today dismissing some of Sheikh Sabah's comments, signaling the diplomatic crisis rolling the Gulf is far from over. A Saudi-led bloc of Arab states hostile to Qatar took aim at Kuwaiti mediation and maintained a tough line even after U.S. President Donald Trump offered to help resolve the crisis. The Quartet cut ties with Qatar in June, accusing it of bankrolling extremist groups and of being too close to Iran. They also shut down air, maritime and land links and imposed economic sanctions on Qatar. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Sultanate joins world countries to celebrate the World Literacy Day. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Russia claimed today to have killed several top commanders of the Daesh group in an airstrike in Syria, including the U.S.-trained Minister of War, who has a $3 million bounty on his head. The Russian Defense Ministry said as a result of a precision airstrike in the vicinity of Deir ez-Zor city, a command post communication center and some 40 Daesh fighters have been killed. It said Gulmurod Kalimov, who is known as the group's Minister of War and the highest-ranking defector from ex-Soviet Tajikistan, suffered a fatal injury. Moscow said Russia's Su warplanes dropped bunker-buster bombs on the fighters as they were meeting near Deir ez-Zor to discuss how to respond to the advance of the Syrian army. One of the most powerful earthquakes ever to strike Mexico has hit off its southern Pacific coast, killing at least 15 people, toppling houses and businesses, and sending panicked people into the streets. The U.S. Geological Survey said the earthquake hit off Chiapas state near the Guatemalan border with a magnitude of 8.1, slightly stronger than the magnitude 8 quake of 1985 that killed thousands and devastated large parts of Mexico City. Hundreds of buildings collapsed or were damaged. Power was cut, at least briefly, to more than 1.8 million people, and authorities closed schools today in at least 11 states to check them for safety. The USGS recorded at least 20 aftershocks of the magnitude 4 or greater within about 5 hours after the main shake. And the president warned that a major aftershocks as large as magnitude 7.2 could occur. The quake caused the buildings to sway violently in Mexico's capital, more than 1,000 kilometers away. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said waves of the meter above the tide level were measured off the Salina Cruz, Mexico. Oman oil price November delivery reached $53.48 per barrel. According to Dubai Mercantile Exchange, Oman oil price rose by 7 cents. The average price of Oman oil September delivery reached $47.63 per barrel. That's $1.10 higher than price of August delivery. The Sultanate today joins the world countries to celebrate the World Literacy Day. This year's celebration focused on topics related to literacy in digital world. The Ministry of Education seeks to keep up with the global updates in literacy programs, as well as renew the study curricula, teaching methods and educational means. It is worth mentioning that the ministry's goal is to spread the culture of education among all segments of the society so as to build an educated generation. And now let's have a look at the weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and now before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, Her Excellency the Minister of Higher Education participates in the works of the first summit of Islamic Cooperation Organization in Science and Technology in Kazakhstan. Sultanate's embassy in Washington calls upon the Omani students in Florida to take all necessary precautions as Irma storm approaches. The U.S. President and the Emir of Kuwait mediate to end the fostering diplomatic crisis involving Qatar and its Arab neighbors. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From the entire news team and myself, we do thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.